Good afternoon from London, and it's a bright sunny Easter afternoon here in London. And hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and also official delegate of the Korean Friendship Association for the United Kingdom, and president of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics of the UK. Now, it's quite appropriate that the weather is bright and sunny, for today is the Day of the Sun, the 110th anniversary of the birth of the great leader, President Kim Il-sung, which is designated as a public holiday in People's Korea and is celebrated by the people of People's Korea and world progressives and Juche Idea followers throughout the world. And I think I can honestly say that without President Kim Il-sung, Korea would not exist on the map today. It's as simple as that. Korea would still be a colony of imperialist Japan. It's as simple as that. To me, one of the greatest achievements of President Kim Il-sung was that he built a Juche-based independent socialist country that was not a copy of another country and was quite different to any other socialist country. This is proved by the fact that the DPRK did not collapse when the USSR and other socialist countries were toppled in the period between 1989 and 1991. Many people, even today, fail to realise that socialism in the DPRK was and is an independent, Juche-based socialism centred on the people. President Kim Il-sung had fought the Japanese imperialists for more than 15 years, and he led the first revolutionary organisations in Korea since he was a teenager. He was determined that Korea should be independent and that the new People's Korea, which rose like a phoenix on the ashes of the ruins of Japanese imperialism, would not be anyone's puppet, and that Korea would never again be a colony of any kind. President Kim Il-sung declared as follows, and I quote, "The Korean Revolution at the present stage is an anti-imperialist, anti-feudal democratic revolution. We must follow the road of progressive democracy, which suits the Korean situation, neither Soviet democracy nor American democracy. The road of progressive democracy, this is the line, the right road for the Korean Revolution at present," end of quotation. People's Korea did not follow the Soviet road. Instead of setting up Soviets, i.e. councils of workers and soldiers, people's committees, new organs of popular power, were set up. Some people had wanted Korea to copy the Soviet model. Some ultra-leftists had wanted the instant dictatorship of the proletariat and immediate socialism. On the other side, you had the right opportunists who wanted to introduce bourgeois democracy, wanted to copy the US and Western countries, and there were even some who wanted to restore feudalism in Korea. President Kim Il-sung mapped out a road of anti-imperialist, anti-feudal democratic revolution. A radical and thoroughgoing agrarian reform was carried out within the time frame of 20 days in March 1946. All land owned by absentee landlords or over 5 hectares in size was confiscated without compensation being paid to the former landlords and was distributed to the people free of charge. In some socialist countries, there was limited compensation for the former landlords and some charges for the redistributed land, but in People's Korea there was not. Some neo-colonial countries failed miserably to carry out land reform in the interests of ordinary people. In People's Korea, 1 million hectares of land possessed by the Japanese imperialists and their stooges and landlords was distributed to poor peasants and farmhands of 720,000 households free of charge. Feudalism and landlordism were destroyed in one go. President Kim Il-sung proposed the unique title Democratic People's Republic of Korea for the new state, reflecting the nature of the new system centered on the popular masses and rejecting the false assertions of the right and left opportunists. After the Fatherland Liberation War, which in the West is known as the Korean War, President Kim Il-sung guided the socialist transformation of production relations in a unique way that accorded with the realities of Korea. Flunkyists, those who look up to and copy big powers, and dogmatists opposed President Kim Il-sung's original and Juche-based line of corporatizing agriculture before industrialization and mechanization. However, President Kim Il-sung said it was the demand of the people that it should be carried out, and he led the movement for corporatization. Corporatization was completed in the DPRK by 1958. The DPRK had 100% socially owned agriculture, whereas some socialist countries either left agriculture mostly in private hands or did not reach 100% social ownership. And in case of one socialist country, they actually decollectivized agriculture. President Kim Il-sung in 1955 made a historic speech on eliminating dogmatism and formalism and establishing Juche in ideological work, which set out the road of Juche for People's Korea in opposition to the big power chauvinists. President Kim Il-sung put forward the line of building an independent national economy. In fact, this had actually been a consistent line of the DPRK since day one. In the late 1950s, the big power chauvinists and modern revisionists tried to subordinate the DPRK's economy to their own by forcing the DPRK to join the old Comecon or CMEA, the Council for Mutual Economic Assistance, which, was sort of like a Soviet version of the EU. President Kim Il-sung refused. The revisionists said that the DPRK should not develop heavy industry but instead just produce minerals and agricultural products and export them. Apparently, Khrushchev, the arch-revisionist and traitor, once offered to supply electricity to the DPRK, but President Kim Il-sung declined this, saying that the revisionists would turn off the electricity if the DPRK expressed disagreement with them. The DPRK built an independent national economy with machine building at its core. Thanks to the Juche-based independent national economy, the DPRK was able to rapidly industrialise and achieve phenomenal rates of growth, for example 36% in 1 year, and in the late 1950s, and in the period between 1957 to 1970, industrial output growth was 19% per year. In the late 50s and early 60s, some socialist countries either decollectivised and adopted private agriculture, or broke up the motor tractor stations or farm machine stations. However, in People's Career, this did not happen. And in his 1964 classic work, President Kim Il-sung stressed working class leadership over agriculture and strengthening the relationship between state and cooperative property. It also put forward the long-term goal of converting cooperative property into all-people property, whereas those socialist countries which introduced revisionist and capitalist methods suffered great losses in agriculture and even had to import food from the imperialist countries. Under the banner of the thesis on the socialist rural question in our company, the DPRK not only maintained self-sufficiency in food, but reaped bumper harvests year after year and hit the target of 7 million tonnes of grain 2 years ahead of schedule in 1974. President Kim Il-sung ensured that socialism and the DPRK gave the people the maximum benefits. In 1974, taxation was abolished and prices reduced by 30% on average. People's Career first introduced free medical care for industrial workers and office workers in 1947, 1 year before the NHS in Britain, and introduced universal complete free healthcare in 1953. Healthcare in People's Career is totally free. There are no fees for medicines. Some socialist countries did have fees for medicine. Education in the DPRK is also completely free with no fees or charges. Housing also is virtually free. Today, we remember President Kim Il-sung for his great achievements in building an invincible, independent, Juche-based socialism centred upon the popular masses. Today, his work is carried forward by dear respected Marshal Kim Jong-un, who practices people-orientated policies. Glory to President Kim Il-sung on the 110th anniversary of his birth. Mansay. Thank you for listening to this video. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, Songun 007, please consider subscribing. Also to our affiliated channel, KFA UK, Korean Friendship Association of the UK. And we need your support for our activities. We'll be having a few coming up, and please check out our Facebook pages and Twitter, etc. for details of those. And we also have quite a few publications defending Juche-based socialism. I'll put a link in the description. And again, happy day of the sun to you all. Have a great day, and see you again. Goodbye.